Yay! We survived another day. Yeah. Were you all surprised this morning when you woke up? Like, hey, oh, I'm alive. Huh? Uh, Actually, we should be surprised every day. Yeah. Uh, According to science, there's about 1 trillion cells in our whole body. Yeah. All the different cells, whether it's the head hair, body hair, nail teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bone, marrow, and so on and so forth. All the different parts. Yeah. In our conventional wisdom, we tend to think that, oh, many things working together, then easier to get things done, right? But in maths and science, when you have more components, more chance of failure also. Yeah. There's also something called redundancy. That means two things doing the same thing. If you have two things doing the same thing, then higher chance of success. Because as long as one of them do it, it's okay. But if you have two things doing the same thing, but you need both things to work, then your chance of success reduce. So we have 1 trillion cells. Fortunately, we don't need all 1 trillion cells to work together. Yeah, we can afford to have some of the cells go crazy a bit once in a while. Yeah. So we call that mutation. Yeah. Then some of them do until they tired, then they die. Yeah, we call that aging. Yeah. As long as the number of cells that is working is of a certain majority, then we are still okay. Yeah. But you don't need majority to go crazy or to die before we fall sick. You just need a significant number in a significant organ, then you go haywire. Yeah. So, and that number is not one or two, it's quite a lot because we are actually a macro system. Yeah. From what I know from science, from science. I didn't take bio, but all the different documentaries I've watched. So the fact that we wake up every day is by no means a simple thing. Yeah. The fact that we actually survive the night biologically is quite amazing. Yeah. For a healthy person, is fairly stable. Yeah. And because most of us are usually healthy, we assume that to be the norm. But the fact that there's a healthy state, that itself actually requires a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work. I recall a certain interfaith roundtable, and there were many countries who came together, and we were having this in Singapore. Yeah, it's a how do I put it? Cross-country interfaith roundtable. Was it closed door? Yeah, I think it was closed door. No public attended. So all government officials from all over, government officials and then religious leaders from all over the place. And George Hill was there. Yeah. And I remember members from other countries asking us this question. How is it that we are able to have interfaith harmony? Yeah. And to that, his reply was most interesting. He's not a Buddhist, he's a Catholic. But his reply, when I heard it, I was like, that's very Buddhist. His reply was, the harmony we have didn't come by chance. It is work in progress, and it requires all the different conditions to work together. Yeah. I was like, hey, that's Yuan Qi, oh, that's dependent arising existence. And how true, isn't it? Yeah, the truth is the truth, is the truth, is the truth, regardless of who spoke it. Yeah. Yeah, how true. The peace and harmony we have in Singapore is dependent on many conditions. Yeah, all it takes is a few conditions. Don't need everybody to decide, oh, we want harmony. We just need a few to disrupt the whole harmony. Yeah. So similarly for our health, yeah, it's actually it's a constant battle, you know. Yeah, constant battle that our body is going through. From a karma point of view, it is a constant usage of our wholesome karma. Yeah, it's a constant usage of our wholesome karma. The fact that we can go to sleep and then the whole night our body continue in Buddhism, we say it is actually the past karma uh, sustaining this process. Yeah. And then the present conditions, which is the physical body, then functioning. If our our karma, our wholesome merits for human rebirth start to wane or becomes weakened, yeah, or comes to a miss for this lifespan, for this life, it was because we did some wholesome deeds, a series of wholesome deeds. Then it ripened as this duration, yeah. Then it's a very complicated formula because all the different wholesome, unwholesome, they are. It's not like a queue, you know. It's not like a queue where okay, now 1068, okay, karma 1068, okay, ripen. 1069 ripen. Yeah. It's really like what the Buddha described, a field. You plant a lot of seeds. Which one will come out first? It depends. Yeah. And even though we are reborn as a human being, there may be other karma that ripens, that disrupt this rebirth. Yeah. Then there are also karma that nourishes this rebirth. Yeah. So the Buddha gave teachings on this, yeah, where it's wholesome karma will support the our lifespan in terms of our health, our beauty, our various aspects, yeah, our happiness, even power. Yeah, it actually mentioned about power. Yeah, this power thing can be in terms of like authority. It can also be seen as what we call 威德力. But if we did unwholesome karma and it ripens, then it can affect these four also, these 4 or 5 things, yeah, including our health. So maybe last year, I was looking for some reading up on some things, and then I saw this article by this Rinpoche, can't remember the name, but he was sharing about this karma thing and lifespan, karma and lifespan. And then the example he gave was, there were 2 examples given. So one was, or 3 examples actually. So 2 examples was where a person is in a very bad state but still survive. And then one is where nothing much, then just die. Yeah. So he says like in, I think he mentioned Tibet. So he said that a long time ago, there was this, or maybe not so long ago, it's I think in recent times. Yeah. So he says that there was this merchant. So he has this servant, or maybe in those days it's a bit more like slave. So anyway, servant slave. So they were on a journey. Then they were caught in the snowstorm. So snowstorm, then how? Then they got stuck. They cannot travel any further. So the merchant said that he will go out to find help. So leave the servant there to take care of all the things. So the servant stayed there. By the time the merchant came back, you know what happened? It's already 7 days later. 3 days, 1 day circuit breaker, we cannot take it already. A lot of Singaporeans count you already. Yeah. And circuit breaker, we can still order food. This guy stuck there. No handphone, anything, cannot order food. No. If they can order food, they can just call for help already. No? So how stuck there and cold, and it's not that, in a stay home notice in a deluxe hotel, yeah, Conrad hotel, whatever hotel, yeah, out in the open harsh winter. 7 days later, when the merchant came back, he's still alive, no, all like frostbite, everything, but still alive. Yes, somehow didn't die, but it's not that the person is just burning firewood, then come back already, when marshmallow, sing campfire song, campfires burning, campfires burning. No, he, he was like just icy base. He want to die, cannot die like that. Yeah. So Rinpoche says, so this is an example of, if your lifespan is not used up yet, and no matter how much hardship you go through, you just don't die. Yeah. Or your bad karma ripen, and you have to go through, and it's painful result. You want to die, it just doesn't let you die. Yeah, you have to finish up that. So in the end, still didn't die. Then he says, but when your lifespan is used up, and then he mentioned, people just go for a run, then then after that die, or have a fall and then just die. Yeah, in Singapore you can actually see that, right? That Rinpoche, I think his talk, that was not in Singapore, but in Singapore that happens also, right? And it's not just during the pandemic. All these years, all this person, and somehow a lot of them are very healthy. Wow, run, then Then the last one he mentioned was this person who is born without a head. Yeah, so not without a head, like half of the head or something. So just a hole. Now I find it very incredible, and I cannot picture how it looks like. But he says that this person, so basically they don't have the brain, but alive or managed to grow. It's not accident. It's just born like that. Yeah, just born like that. And then he says that he and the family, this person and the family, develop a way of communication. And then when he feels he wants to sun himself, then he will notify the family member will bring him out, and then he sun himself. Then to feed him, they just kind of pour it into the hole here. Cannot imagine. When I read it, I was like, oh, wow. Cannot imagine what kind of life that is, no? Because you cannot see, cannot hear, cannot smell, cannot taste. I don't know whether can taste. And then you cannot communicate. Yeah, you cannot hear also. Is you can just you are like living in a, I don't know what kind of life that is, no? Yeah. And then that Rinpoche says that, but the person don't die. But as I say this, there are actually a lot of people not in the same state, but in various states of physical disability, yeah, or illnesses. And they may feel like, oh, I want to die, but cannot die. Yeah, I've encountered some students who consult me, whether and not just as a hypothetical, academic exercise on the subject of mercy killing, euthanasia. And my answer is always, I can't tell you that it's okay to kill yourself, yeah, or to have someone commit suicide, yeah. But I appreciate that it must be very difficult, whether physical pain or mental pain, that the person would consider that. It must be very difficult. Beyond, at least beyond that person's threshold. At least beyond that person's threshold. But we cannot advise people to kill themselves. Yeah, and it's not so much protect ourselves. Yeah, but because in that we seen from the larger picture, if a person were to then commit suicide, the karma or the conditions for that suffering is just interrupted, but may not be resolved yet. Yeah, may not be resolved yet. And dying in this state, in various teachings, rarely results in a good rebirth, except the case of the group of monks, where the Buddha declared that they have already cleared the stream entry. So they have already attained Sotapanna, at least Sotapanna. Yeah. And in this case, they should have been probably Anagami already. Yeah, because they cultivated the fouliness of the body and then developed deep revulsion towards the body. So much so that they are like, what is the point of this body? Then there was an ascetic who go around liberating people by killing them. Not involuntarily killing them. Yeah, that means unsolicited killing. No, it's that he offered a service. Would you like to be liberated by death? If you say no, okay, sure. Yeah, move along. Next, would you like to be? Yeah. So there was this ascetic in the Buddha's time. This belongs to the school of nihilists. That means they believe, they really believe that this body is the problem. Yeah, that after you die, there's no more this body. Then if you die already, then all whatever suffering you are facing will end. This is the wrong view. Yeah. In the, that because the why is it wrong? Because it's not just like that. You kill yourself, you will not just end everything. Yeah. No, but these monks, they practice the contemplation on the fouliness of the body, and develop so much revulsion that they don't even see a point of living. Yeah. The revulsion is in a way over. So from that, right, then the Buddha advised to practice anapanasati instead. Anapanasati instead. So in various traditions, the contemplation of fouliness is used. Yeah. But and in some traditions more so than others. In the lineage I was trained in, my teacher also advocate doing this contemplation. Yeah, but he also mentioned about this sutta. So he says that you have to use it in moderation. Yeah, not simply wow, very good. Then just keep contemplating on fouliness, because it's meant to be a countermeasure for lust. Yeah, not to be used beyond that. It's like Panadol help you remove headache, right? Then when you have no headache, anyway, good while Panadol can remove headache, take more lah. Or you go for chemotherapy, then you finish your chemo, then you are in remission. They say, since chemotherapy is so good, then doctor, can you continue to put me on chemotherapy? Yeah, not supposed to. And in fact, in US, there were some of the seniors who actually got pictures, pictures of the different bodily parts. Not not that they go and dig up the grave, but there are some what kind of book? I think in Thailand, they actually take this practice to a certain extent, where when the housemen, they have this autopsy process, right? Yeah. Or I think they would cut open the body, and then I think maybe freshman or which year of medicine student, they will go and learn about the cadaver and the human body. So there's this book that was compiled with all these images. It's meant as a medical resource. And this monk go and share. Yeah, then got scolded by my teacher. He says, don't, basically like, don't get kyang. Don't get kyang, anyhow share this, because you don't, unless you are so capable that you know the um, inclination, the mental state of the recipient. Yeah. Otherwise, for some people, when they just see, they don't even have to contact, they just see, it scars them. It's traumatized. Yeah. It's traumatizing, you know. Yeah. You can go into shock, no? Just seeing the body dismembered, you can go into shock. Mm. So so this practice is meant to be practiced in moderation, yeah, and as an antidote towards lust. Yeah, only to that point. Yeah, you go and look at the various suttas. There are suttas on the foulness, but only when you talk about foulness, then it's brought in. The rest of the teaching, majority are all talking about what? Universal characteristics. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Yeah. Foulness is just a supporting practice. Oh. I think let me see. Luna asked, can we learn to practice upeka, okay, yeah, equanimity, or only by wisdom? With respect to what? Luna? The question, can we learn to practice upeka or only by wisdom with respect to?
To deal with everything in our life, I think if we can be balanced in everything, not overly happy, not overly sad. So is it something that we can practice or only learn by wisdom?
Okay. So yeah. Okay, so what is upeka? Usually translated as equanimity. Yeah. So wisdom has the element of equanimity, but equanimity may not have the element of wisdom. Yeah, because in jhana you can have equanimity, but you may not have wisdom.
But at higher states of jhana, right, have the upeka.
Yeah. Listen to what I said. Jhana can have upeka. Yeah. Third stage, third jhana, fourth jhana. Fourth jhana is purified equanimity. Yeah. Yeah. But when you say higher state have upeka, what do you mean? Because you suddenly brought that in response to what I said. Why? There's something interesting here.
Yeah, I just read that. I just read that there's kind of two to upeka, but I'm not know what is the difference.
There's a
Upeka
what?
and I just heard that upeka has two meanings in the form immeasurable and also in the jhana state. It is the same or not, but I don't know the difference.
Oh, so for immeasurables, species, right? The upeka is number 4. It's the same upeka when we talk about the fourth jhana upeka. Yeah,
Oh, the same.
it's the same. The quality is the same, but the what do you call that? The usage is a bit different. The angle is a bit different. In the Brahma Vihara, the four immeasurables, the upeka is often practiced in terms of together in unison with the first three. Yeah. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha, right? So Upekkha is always in reference to the first three. Yeah, in particular, the first two. Yeah, because that's the state of the Brahma, where he encompasses all sentient beings with loving kindness and compassion, right? And then beyond that, again, towards all sentient beings to have that equanimity towards all. Yeah. So whereas for jhana, it may or may not be directed towards sentient beings. Yeah. If you look in the jhana practice, is going deeper into the fundamentals of pain, 苦乐忧喜舍, 苦乐忧喜. So pain, pain and pleasure, 忧喜. So sorrow and joy. Yeah. So towards this more about mental states. Oh. But of course, if a person practice the four immeasurables, you can also attain the four jhana. Yeah, at which point then they are the same. Yeah, but usually when we practice the four immeasurables, we're not reaching jhana, so not the same as the jhana one. Yeah, and if a person practice jhana, the person may not have the immeasurables also, but have purified equanimity.
So how to practice to be balanced? I mean,
how to be balanced. But there's another level of balance, yeah, which is via wisdom.
by wisdom.
Yeah. So if a person practice all the way up to arahanthood, then towards all sentient beings, in fact, all states, instead of grasping on and discriminating the temporal conditional phenomena, he sees clearly the underlying impermanence. He sees clearly the underlying conditionality of his existence. He sees clearly the underlying emptiness, selfless, yeah, state of all phenomena. And so he is able to be equanimous towards different, what we perceive as different. They can see that the difference is temporal. So equanimous towards them nonetheless. So that's via wisdom. For Buddhists, that's ultimately what we want to do. But if we wait until we are, then we practice a bit later. So good to practice Upekkha beforehand. But there are some things we shouldn't be equanimous towards. Okay, I want to highlight this. I've highlighted in many classes since good that you brought up. So just now we talked about being equanimous towards pain and pleasure, sorrow and joy, right? Then we also talk about equanimous towards different people, and we can extend to different circumstances, right? So far so good. Everybody agree? Yeah. So question, how about towards wholesome and unwholesome states? Should we be equanimous? So I have to be careful. The Buddha in no place did he say we should be equanimous towards wholesome, unwholesome states. Yeah. Because if you still have wholesome, unwholesome states arise, that means you haven't attained arahanthood. So you're not in a position to go and be equanimous about that. Yeah. If we are still not arahant stage, then that's why wholesome, unwholesome states arise. You have to discriminate that this is wholesome, this brings painful results, this is unwholesome, this brings this wholesome, this brings pleasant results, this is unwholesome, this brings painful results. Yeah. So under right effort, yeah, 正精进, right effort. We should apply ourselves, apply effort such that to cause the unwholesome states that has arisen to reduce and remove it, for those unwholesome states that has not arisen to not arisen, for the wholesome states that has not arisen to arise, for the arisen wholesome states to grow and blossom. Yeah. Whereas if you are autonomous, wholesome also say, unwholesome also say. cannot. Oh, yeah.
谢谢。
Mm.
Yeah.
Amitabha.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is we should be surprised. Yeah, we should be surprised that we actually woke up today. And if you are really surprised, then today is a bonus, you know. Yeah, today is bonus, right? Because maybe you didn't wake up, like. Yeah. So today, whatever happened is a bonus. Yeah. Good things happen, bonus. Bad things happen, bonus. Yeah. Someone come and quarrel with you. Oh, thank you so much. I got a quarrel. Then the person, you sell already. Okay. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
嗯
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always, have a surprisingly equanimous day ahead.